Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Duckville here, and welcome to a StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm replay. I'll be bringing you a PvT match from the, I believe this was actually the EU server, so we do have a couple of players here. This was around about High Masters or something like that, down at the bottom left-hand side of the very frosty map here. We have Evil Genius's Huck, who has, of course, been a strong representation of the foreigner scene for StarCraft 2 for the longest of times. He gained quite a few victories during his, I suppose, his Wings of Liberty campaign. Took out a Dream Hack and then quite a few other events, including an MLG, if memory serves me right, and has then been competing around the place quite a lot. Meanwhile, up here at the top left-hand side is our blue Terran player. Also High Masters there. Over in EU, it is DJHelium. And DJHelium, as we said, just a High Masters player here. Apparently a big fan of Jarkji as well. We can all appreciate that. Jarkji's a pretty damn good Korean Terran player. But yeah, we'll talk about just having a look at the way they're going to be opening up for the moment. Just nothing really too fancy, no proxies or anything like that. Of course, this particular matchup has been a little bit of a talking point as of late. Like, actually, both the main sort of Protoss matchups, PvT and PvZ, have been quite quite the talk around the water cooler lately, of course, because of PvZ being the issues of, well, everybody cannon rushes and all this kind of stuff. And then PvT, a lot of Terran players expressing their displeasure with Oracle-based openings, having a lot of trouble with them. I personally think it's still, I don't know, man. Like, I think the change to the speed of the Oracles was a little bit interesting, but I mean, there's still a little bit of a way to go. Like, I mean, that change has only just recently gone through. There's still a bit of time to try and figure things out. There might be better openings for Terran players to use. And speaking of openings, we are going to get a 2-Rax here from DJHelium. Huck is now heading up to the top side of the map. He has not actually scouted out his opponent. What is he up to? We could have a proxy coming in from the Protoss from EG. Of course, while we're just waiting for this to get started up, please be sure to subscribe to the channel there, as I do try and release content, not necessarily on a daily basis, but at least on a every other day kind of basis. So I'm trying to get as much content out there as I can. If you do like the work that's going in, as I said, please subscribe, and then make sure that you are sharing as well. So Huck, he didn't actually scout out that DJHelium was over there. I think he's just running about to try and set up a proxy Stargate or something. Yeah, there's going to be a Stargate over here. A little bit interested at what the plan is here from Huck. It has been scouted out, it seems. As we can see, the Stargate we'll see how Huck deals with this. This can happen every now and then, that a Protoss player has their sort of has their proxy scouted out. Now, we'll see what he wants to go for, because he can change it up. He can do a little bit of an old school tasteless kind of thing, where you just sort of cancel the Stargate and then switch it up back at home. Maybe go for Twilight, or just straight into a Robo, play a little bit more normally. But DJHelium will be aware that that is there. The Reaper should be able to take that pylon out before anything completes. In fact, with the second Reaper now coming along, and even a third, wow, I'm a little bit surprised. Yeah, I probably wouldn't reveal that. Yeah, just cancels the Stargate, should take out the pylon, and then there will be 3 Reapers heading across the map here for DJHelium. So there are going to be quite a few units just pushing across. A single Stalker is going to have a little bit of an annoying time dealing with these 3 Reapers. Of course, the Reapers don't do huge amounts of damage, but they can be pesky, like little bugs just sort of flying around you all the time. Now, keep in mind, guys, that this map actually has a really sort of weird situation when it comes to jumping up on the cliff. There is a small point just over here, if memory serves me right, where you can jump up. You can also come through the natural as well. There's just a couple of avenues there, and it does allow you to get those Reapers inside. So the 3 Reapers are now in there for DJHelium, looking to get a couple of kills here. Should be able to get at least 2 or 3 of those kills. In fact, the Mothership Core will pop out and will stop the destruction of that probe line. But for the moment, DJHelium's feeling pretty comfortable. Got a little bit of a scout out, stopped the proxy. We would like to see him just double check at the Nexus as well, just to see if that has gone down. But with an expansion now coming up, Stim on the way, and an extra Rax, and now, oh sorry, that's actually just the same second Rax, but the factory now on the way. Things are now just pushing back to a normal sort of situation here for DJHelium. The Reapers are still floating about, trying to get some damage done. I believe 3 Reapers does actually beat a single Stalker, but when there's a Mothership Core and a couple of sentries around, it does go a little bit crazy, and as we can see, 2 of the Reapers will die off. So DJHelium losing a lot of the scouting potential that is there. Meanwhile, back inside the main base, Huck is now he's grabbed his Warp Gate tech, and other than that, we haven't actually seen any signs of what he's up to. There's no real jump into any Robotech. There's no Twilight, no Stargate, anything like that. So we're gonna keep an eye on what Huck is up to. But for DJHelium, lots of extra little units now popping out. A missile turret is on the way, just as a preparatory sort of unit there. But it looks as if Mothership Core may go down here, coming very close to it. In fact, DJHelium almost taking that one out. The Marines forced to head back to the front line here. A couple of Stalkers now poking at the front. One will go down. The control of Huck, unfortunately, a little bit lackluster there, but at home, he's finally picking up the Forge Robo facility, so it will go into a little bit more of a standard game here for Huck, with no doubt the armor upgrade is what people will normally grab here, and then, of course, a couple of observers to pop out to make sure he can keep an eye on what's going on the map. So this is currently looking like a reasonably standard kind of TVP setup here from these 2 players. We'll see if it is going to go either the distance for a long kind of game, or if we are just going to have a little bit of a shorter one. But DJHelium is making sure no supply block there. Very good. The +1 weapons is on the way. We'll see if he is going to grab a second eBay, or if it's just going to be the singular one for the moment. Normally we do see the one coming up pretty quickly, just so you can grab +1 weapons nice and quick, possibly force a little bit of pressure on the Protoss at the front, because what you normally want to do is sometimes you want to come in here, threaten that Nexus, and just sort of sit off to the side here, maybe grab a probe or 2, force out the Photon overcharge, then head back home, or possibly try and come in through the back. There is a lot of space on this map here, as we can see, to drop in through the side. You can even come in quite a long way down the back and drop in that corner as well. Not to mention the natural has a couple of exposed little flanks there too. So we'll see if that is the plan here. In fact, DJHelium is going to be dropping in with those Marines just straight up here. We'll probably see the Photon overcharge out of the Mothership Core. Lots of energy available, in fact, almost a full 200, so we won't want to see too much commitment to this. In fact, there you go, picking up, loading up, and getting back inside that natural base. Huck with a couple of Stalkers warping in. We'll be able to stop this for the moment. But a little bit of a scout going on here for DJHelium. Dropping out the Marines and saying, let's get out of here, boys. But for the moment, I don't think that's going to do too much. Trying to tuck it down a sentry, very nicely done. Huck trying to get that sentry out of there. That guy was like, get out of the way, guys. Lose some weight. I'm trying to get through here, but for the moment, they will escape for now. And things are, as we said, just proceeding at a pretty normal pace for the moment. Observer keeping an eye on what's going on at the front door. Missile turret will keep that out of the main part of the natural there, but the extra racks now going down inside the main will take us to a very standard 5 rack setup. Lots of Marines coming out. Marauders will be coming through as well. The factory is grabbing a tech lab. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. The +1 weapons is now done, and armor is about to get started as well. So we do have, yeah, we'll probably see this medevac head back and get a little bit of a heal up there. DJHelium looking to take a 3rd base as well. We'll see this just jump down onto this position here. It's a nice little position where you can, it's in these sorts of main base positions, it's relatively easy to defend this. You just got to be careful about things up on the high ground. There are a couple of Stalkers may ruin your day. A drop of some storm action may also make things a little bit unfortunate there for DJHelium. But speaking of storm, we do have storm tech on the way. +2 to armor is also being researched right now by Huck. A couple of Templar are going to warp in and see what they can do when we get to the big battle, which will probably not really occur for another 30 seconds or so, while DJHelium looks to push in, just waiting on, well, I'm not sure how I feel about all this pushing in, because they're, like, despite the fact that Huck does not have Storm available just yet, this is still a pretty powerful force. If you can take advantage of the terrain here, a couple of good force fields to block out this position, and then the Zealots can run down here. When they have Guardian Shield and +1 on their armor, these guys take absolutely no damage from the, from those Marines and that kind of stuff. But Huck is going to look to drop inside the natural base here. Storm drop there, wonderfully executed by Huck. That takes out a myriad of those workers, and the Warp Prism is going to have to back off. That Archon will die down, unfortunately, but certainly got his money's worth with that. 17 worker kills here for Huck, and now Huck is actually looking down. actually misplaced one of his pylons there, a little bit unfortunate for him. But as we can see, the storm and the threat of those zealots at the front door are a little bit of a worry here for DJHelium, so we will get a pickup. Backing off, executing the evasion tactics for now is going to afterburn around in there. Should be able to stop this third base, in fact. Huck does have a couple of Templar that are looking to move into position to try and intercept these medevacs, but oh, he actually, I thought he was going to move up towards the high ground, but no, he actually just comes across to the side. There is one of the feedbacks, does take out one of the medevacs, and a lot of the energy on one of the others forces a cancel here, DJHelium. But will he be able to deal with the threat back at home? Lots of zealots, lots of power here in this force. Despite not having any weapons upgrades just yet, they have +2 on their armor. Lots of extra armor there with the Guardian Shield as well. The High Templar will be able to throw down a couple of storms if Huck is able to get it in position. But there are drops going on all over the place. DJHelium trying to out-multitask Huck. Will it be successful here? The Planetary Fortress of Doom Nexus has now been activated inside the main, so that will be here to protect the main for a little bit. And some Zealots will pop in and try and take out the Marines, but these guys have 1-1, and they are quite strong. But Huck is now pushing forwards. A wonderful storm on the ramp there. Annihilates most of the units that are there. The Zealots will now charge through. We still have another storm there available. In fact, 2 storms available for Huck there if he needs to use that. But DJHelium slowly starting to tear apart this main base here. Would love to see a target fire on that forge, but unfortunately just not enough units here to be able to finish this off. And all the while, Huck has now forced a lift up. DJHelium backing off, getting all of the buildings out of there, looking for that base trade as you normally will with a Terran when you are trying to just trade with a Protoss here. Huck has started up a Nexus just down at the, well, what is normally sort of a 4th or a 3rd base here. The DJHelium now moving through, will want to try and take out as many of those probes as possible, but does get the pylons that are powering the majority of the gateways. Would love to see a little bit of target fire on that cyber core as well. The sentries and a couple of other units just trying to chase down those floating buildings to try and figure out where the new tent will be set up there for DJHelium. But the Marines and Marauders are now coming through. There they are, targeting down the pylons. This causes a real issue for Huck. If he eventually does get restarted with the mining, he will need to rebuild pylons before he can make any units. So Huck is now in a position where he's very stuck. 4 units right now. 4 Stalkers, 3 Sentries, a couple of Templar. The Mothership Core is still out, which is quite nice, and a couple of Zealots still just roaming around, trying to take out some of the buildings. To the 10 Marines, 7 Marauders, and 8 Medevacs, but absolutely no SCVs here from DJHelium. So we'll be relying on these 2 orbital commands here to try and get the economy restarted for DJHelium. There is going to be a little bit of a push here. Huck wants to bait the units here onto this ramp. He wants to bring them across so that he can lay down the storm and just destroy all of those units before they're able to get down the ramp. But DJHelium not falling for any of that. Takes out all of those buildings inside the main, except for a single Twilight Council, but not really too much of an issue if that doesn't go down at this point. There's not exactly too much that that's going to provide, but eventually moves forward, takes it out. The racks have now been deployed in a weird sort of position in the middle of the map. There is a Zealot on the watchtower, but the racks are just outside the range of that watchtower for now. Slowly but surely, DJHelium losing some of the supply here in the main base as well. Does have a lot available though, with a whole bunch of supply depots that are just sitting about, not really doing too much. Huck, he's in a little bit of a precarious position. He's down on forces at the moment. Of course, keep in mind that this Terran does have 1-1 on the upgrades. Of course, Huck does have now 2-1 on his, so he's actually not too bad when it comes to upgrades, but I'm just kind of worried he will be relying on some good storms, of course, a couple of good Guardian Shields as well. But now Huck has actually found one of the external bases here just off to the side. We'll take out a couple of the mules. That's really unfortunate there for DJHelium. Another Zealot is also just patrolling around to keep an eye on this base over here, and the Observer has also found the rejuvenating Marine supply just over here on the middle sort of right-hand side of the map. So DJHelium is in a interesting position. Of course, we'll be able to restart the economy here, but unfortunately just these random Zealots that are just wandering around are going to be a little bit of a thorn in the side. But lots of Marines, lots of Medevacs for heals as well. This will be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Huck is, he does have 2 of those Templar up in the War Prison there. Drops down a storm and this is a little bit of an interesting sort of decision to storm that stuff there. But DJHelium may be overcommitting here. I would like to perhaps see DJHelium just back off for a second. Maybe go and try and assassinate these last few Zealots that are out on the map so he can mine freely. But, I mean, I don't know about pushing into this, because there is an observer keeping an eye on all of these units here. The Photon Overcharge on the Nexus is quite dangerous, and there are still a couple of storms available as well. So, just trying to bait out some of those storms there, but Huck not one to want to try and dive around and try and get that kind of thing done. This is a really interesting position, because if DJHelium pushes through here, it's a very clumped up position, and that is going to happen. Lots of storm will start to slowly dismantle all of these units here. But as we can see, DJHelium looking to start the mining up yet again. Maybe perhaps jumping back to this space would be a good idea with this orbital command. But still, we have a couple of units just trying to push in, and this is what I'm talking about. Maybe just being a little bit more patient with this position here. I mean, you don't have to go in, especially when the Photon Overcharge is active. But DJHelium will back off for now. Has a good spread of the units, which I really do like to see, considering there is the threat of the storms there. And, well, looking to try and snipe off that assimilator. I'm not sure if it's going to happen just yet. The Photon Overcharge will wear off in a little bit. I believe there's still a little bit longer left, because we got a second activation of that, as Huck was looking to make sure that he did defend this space. But again, another Zealot now heading across to this space here. I really think that at this point, DJHelium needs to be careful with these units. You don't really want to use all of these, because Huck is slowly starting to get all of his forces back together. And a nice pickup there, the old hot pickup, able to save some of those units. But Huck now has 4 gates. He's going to have a Dark Shrine coming up as well. And, well, when base trade Dark Shrine, I don't know, man. But, actually, that's one thing which could be pretty cool. Unfortunately, DJHelium doesn't really have the economy for it. Would be getting some banshees out. But as we can see, the storm really starting to make its mark here. The Marines and the Marauders are getting very low on health, now starting to push forwards yet again. A Time Warp is going to help out. Excellent segmentation of those units there by Huck, using the force field to be able to trap a lot of those units, and this could be the end of DJHelium here. Pushing forwards, Huck is going to be able to hunt down most of these units, and even with a couple of Templar still alive, that should be it. DJHelium looking to try and get things back up and running, but these Zealots are just guarding all of the bases there. This base has gotten up and running, but unfortunately no SCVs have been produced, so we're going to have a very hard time getting back into this game here for DJHelium. But nice control from Huck, being very patient, waiting to storm the right targets here, and then just sort of, you know, taking his time, getting the 4 gates up. Got some DTs that are about to happen here as well, and that will pretty much seal the deal, because of course DJHelium has no way to really detect those, given that the orbital commands are dropping down mules instead of waiting for scans. Not to mention, this orbital command is actually in a very unfortunate kind of position here, but DJHelium will push across. It does almost take out the Wall Prison, but unfortunately the cost of that will be a lot of Marine health, which will equal a lot of medevac energy as well. And again, another Zealot. Excellent scouting here from Huck, able to roam around the map with his various Zealots, and that's what I was going to look for here from DJHelium, was a possible cloaked Banshee play. This could work out quite nicely, but I mean, it just sort of feels like, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late here. If some of those bases were able to get up and running a little bit earlier, then we may have been able to do that, and perhaps come through with some cloaked Banshees. But keep in mind, there is still an observer out somewhere. Yeah, it's out just right in the middle of this battle here. But the Marines now attempting to evacuate out of there. They say, I do not want to contest all of those Zealots, the Archons that are there as well. And slowly but surely, DJHelium is going to fall down here. As we can see, does have that Banshee inside what is now the main base of Huck. Cloak is up, and we'll be able to hunt down some of those probes. The Observer actually not wanting to participate in cleaning that up, but I mean, when you're taking care of the rest of the units there, that is more than enough to be able to worry about all of these probes. I mean, okay, at this point you need to possibly clean it up, but DJHelium GG's. And that will be it here for this game. Hope you all enjoyed the match. Make sure you do subscribe. Jump onto facebook.com/duckville.casting, I should say. And hop on there and say hello as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units, and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more